Welcome back to another warm-up show with the hockey coach, Coach Francis, directly for the beautiful country of Terran. And we have to go all the way downtown Toronto, the cavemen somewhere, somehow, hiding, ready to rock and roll with some kind of great prediction. Back in the house, Mr. ENORTAP. Welcome back.
Hello, Coach. Happy Thursday, February the 16th. Hello, Hockey Nation. And here we go again. Another 8 games tonight, eh?
You're absolutely right about that. 8 game of the program tonight, 6 yesterday. We're going to talk about the result of what happening last night. What a great couple, a great game to watch last night. And then, of course, happy, thankfully, Thursday, everybody. Hopefully, have an amazing, great week. And we're going to see Montreal back on the action tonight. Try to win the game number 4 straight. Maybe not. It's a little bit more difficult against the Carolina, but we're going to talk about that game a little bit later.
Never know.
News around the league. Ottawa. we have Detroit news. We have Washington injury, and we're going to go all the information you need to know on this show. From the ENORTAP and myself, but we have a few people knock the door, Mr. ENORTAP, already, and we want to congratulate again Easty and the boss, Mr. ENORTAP, back-to-back game week Wednesday night. He's still there, the Double J, we call him the Double J, record of 5-1 yesterday, congratulations. Then finally, we opened the jail last night, Mr. ENORTAP, someone that go to jail. We didn't want to do this, right? It's hurt our feeling when we send, someone to the jail. The effect is DANY, but this is a subject for another time about that one, about that one over there. I think DANY became a punch bag at the show, Mr. ENORTAP, when we produce the warm-up show here. But look, we'll be interesting about this, but we have to welcome everybody. First of all, directly from Taiwan, back in the house, Mr. Jeffrey Coury.
Welcome, Jeffrey.
From Ottawa, Mr. Vinny 007.
Vinny 007, Mr. Consistency.
Et dans la belle province de Québec, il est de retour avec nous ce soir, Mr. André Robert Drouin.
Welcome, André.
And he always said the same thing, Mr. ENORTAP. He said, no, I'm not related with Jonathan Drouin, so don't try to tell me something about Jonathan. So I just want to mention that, Mr. ENORTAP. It could happen about this. What about Finland? Jarmo Vartanen is in the house.
He's our man. Welcome, Jarmo. Moi, moi.
Jarmo, you did the right pick. He followed me. He did not follow you last night between the Minnesota and the Colorado Avalanche. He said during the show last night, I don't know what to do. It's not good one. I have to split one of the two of them. And he was lucky that his Octopussy, he bring him on the right team, Mr. ENORTAP, last night with the Colorado.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Great game last night, by the way. If you watch this game, I watched the last part of the game, and it was pretty good. Mr. L. Hansen is in the house.
Welcome, Mr. Hansen.
We did some kind of investigation about him and Mr. ENORTAP the last couple of days, and we tried to figure out what, but he looked like he's not really related to the three brothers play for James Johnson. I just want to mention this. So he was not in the movie. He had nothing to do with that part. He said, look, don't bring me here about that. It's okay, that's okay, no problem. So, I just want to share it with you about this. What about Mr. ENORTAP? Gary Cournoyeur is in the house, the road runner.
Did you investigate here too, Coach?
If he's not in the house, Mr. ENORTAP, what happening? What's kind of circumstance happening in the world if he's not in the house with us, Mr. ENORTAP?
Oh, Mr. Cournoyeur?
Yeah.
No roadrunner, that's for sure.
It's because he have a snowstorm. He cleaned up the driveway. So when you have a snowstorm in Montreal, he jumping on his truck and he boom, 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 boom. He does his work for hours and hours. Mr.
Oh, awesome.
So we just want to mention with you. Here we go. Mr. Rick Kane is in the house. Welcome back, Rick.
Salute, Rick.
with the Vancouver Canucks logo, Mr. Nortap. The Vancouver Canucks, it's good to hear that. When you don't hear
Trouble.
anything about them, that's a good sign for the Vancouver Canucks.
Trouble.
Last night, by the way, but
Trouble.
we always think about the Queen Hélène, but we have the King of Gamer, Mr. Nortap, back in the house tonight.
Welcome, Justin.
But the radar number one and the show tonight, Mr. Luciano Graziano is in the house. Thanks to be with us. What's going on with all those some days NHL result? Yeah, very interesting to
Right?
talk about
Right,
this.
Lecky? I
Uh,
agree.
I know. Jose Duarte, Mr. Tab, directly the upstate New
Oh,
York, is in the house. Your neighbor from the south.
don't forget, he's our assistant captain, coach. Assistant captain.
The boss
Don't
man,
forget.
Double J, Mr. Top, is in the house. Welcome back. Congratulations again, Mr. Double J, about this one there. You nailed it very well last night.
Welcome, Double J.
Yep. And we talk about the Queen. She you go. She's back with us,
Yeah,
Mr. Top, from Newfoundland. Hopefully, she's, I think she's on the speed recovery about a shoulder problem. So we wish her the best. And,
absolutely.
just be careful. Don't lose your phone. That's the only thing we can tell you right now. Don't lose your phone.
Did you
That's
ever
the most
find your
important
phone,
thing.
Ellen? Did you ever
They
find it?
finally, she gave up. She just got a new one.
She got a new one. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Some kind of insurance
It's a
look like.
hassle. It's a hassle, though, losing
Kings talk about Ingram. We'll talk about this in the next couple of minutes. You're welcome, Double J. You deserve it,
Don't
my
talk about
friend.
Ingram.
When you're listening, Mr. ENORTAP, that's what happened. That
You
bring you
lose.
exactly to the boss, Mr. Double J. What caught your attention,
To
Mr.
the
ENORTAP?
jail.
Like you said yesterday, we have 6 games on
Oh,
the
my
program.
God.
Those are the team win, Mr. ENORTAP. The Buffalo, the Arizona, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Colorado Avalanche. A surprise a bit on the road. And the Chicago, no, is it Chicago? No, why I put Chicago there?
Chicago
The,
played.
I'm sorry again?
Yeah, Chicago played Toronto yesterday.
Yep, so right about that. And York Rangers are the team over there. So I put on Chicago. It was for Nick to get him some smile, Mr. Natap. But Nick
We
is
didn't
not
mean
here.
it, Nick. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he said. But what happened, Mr. Natap, he maybe not know, Nick, is after the game, Chicago make a protestation about the roster. And he have a forfeit the game for the Toronto Maple Leaf. And then that the W go to Chicago. But this was only for Nick. So at the end of the day, it does not happen, Mr. Natap.
That's all right, Coach. I don't know. Let's start. Let's start with that Tampa Bay and Arizona game, the one you have in the middle there, because you saw yesterday how I struggled with it, and not because I was going back and forth. I was absolutely convinced Arizona was going to win this game until I saw that Velmelka wasn't going to be playing in net, especially at home. I thought, Velmelka, the way Arizona plays at home, this should be an easy one because Tampa Bay had been playing 2 or 3 games in recent succession. They played the night before, and they weren't easy games. They were all playoff type of game. So I figured they'd go into Arizona, take them a little bit lightly, which they didn't, surprisingly. They put on net in the first 2 periods alone. They put on net 37 shots uh, to Arizona's 13. But the problem was it wasn't Velmelka, it was Ingram that was making all these saves. And that's why, in the end, I changed to Tampa Bay, thinking that, okay, Tampa Bay should pull it off without that. But I was wrong. 1-0. It took them to a shootout to finally do it. But amazing. I think it was 49 shots on net.
47 shot,
Ingram,
Mr. Natap. With that
47.
47 shot, England established a record for any
Yeah.
goalies have their first shutout in NHL. Um, is in the NHL in history, he got 47 shots, so he established this record. He just beat. Do you know who he beat?
Who?
His teammate.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Velmelka.
last year, 46 shot last
Okay.
season,
Yeah.
Mr. Natap.
Okay.
So very
I'm
impressive
not surprised.
uh, about that.
Yeah. And so that was the first thing that stood out in my mind. Again, we had yesterday 2 games that went to overtime, actually to shootouts, both of them. The Chicago-Toronto game, oh, Coach, well, what can we say about Chicago here? Like this was like men playing against boys. I thought the Leafs were all over Chicago. I know Chicago played the night before against Montreal, but it's not like they played a great game against Montreal either. They lost 4-0. They go into Toronto, and Toronto. It didn't take them long. What was it? 8, 9 seconds,
9 seconds,
and right
William
off the.
another score. By the way, Mr. Tap, this game yesterday, Toronto Chicago was the number three uh, highest bidding winning percentage for one specific team last night. I think it was 600 or 800. This is game number three. Montreal, the two other team is Montreal. One last season, one this season, one again Colorado this year, and one last season. I cannot remember which one have those kind of winning percentage if you are betting. So you play the money line, everything like that, and then it was the chance to Chicago won. I think it was 0.9 or something like that, or 1.3.
Unbelievable. But like I said, I think the score complemented Chicago because I thought Toronto was all over them. It was 5-2, with still time to play in the second period. And then you could tell the Leafs kind of took the foot off the pedal in the third period, but not that Chicago took advantage of that. The other game that really kind of surprised me was, but they're playing very good hockey, is the Detroit Red Wings. They went right into Edmonton. They made sure they got out to a quick early lead. And, credit to Edmonton because I thought the second and third period, they pretty much dominated those periods. I thought if they had even another maybe 5 minutes, I think Edmonton could have won that in regulation. But they had 10 shots the first period, 16 shots the second period, 17 shots the third period, in comparison to 21 in total by Detroit. But they came up with two huge points. Again, Edmonton lucky that at least they went to a shootout. They did pick up a point there. And I thought even Campbell made actually a great save in regulation time that kept Edmonton in it, and it paid off in terms of at least getting them a point. Colorado, Minnesota, 3-2. What a great playoff type of game here as well. I thought Georgiev was superb. Made a total of 43 saves. Fleury did not have much action. You could see the desperation in Minnesota's play. They were trying to push, but it was just a great goaltending performance, I would say, right there. That's it. That's all. With that loss, now Minnesota finds themselves in fourth place in the Central. And I think they're just tied with Calgary right now for that last playoff spot.
They are out. Yeah, they are tied for the wild
Oh,
card for the last spot, but they have
yeah.
winning not winning percentage. But after that, you have to go with the overtime, every time this, those information
Yeah.
like this, and Calgary a little bit over Minnesota. But you're absolutely right. They are tied with that part of there. And Moncton now are World Cup number 7. And then so suddenly,
Yeah.
because a couple of W for the last couple of games, Los Angeles Kings, Mr. Tat, now are second in that division.
I told you, every night it changes in that Pacific Division. So
Pacific
what
division is very
separates
important about that for
first from
sure.
fourth? How many points? How many
So
points separates first from fourth right
for the
now in the
Pacific division,
Pacific? Yeah.
yeah,
It,
not
it
much
can't be more than
about
about
this.
four
You talk
points.
about uh, 2 point for
2 points
Edmonton and
separates.
7 point to the
Wow.
Calgary,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
and they are
And that's gonna go right down to the wire,
yeah, and they are
those
pretty
guys.
much the same kind of number of the game. So 54, 55. So pretty even about that one over there for sure, Mr. Tap. I just want to conclude what you said tonight. Rangers get big W against Vancouver Canucks. Canucks never gave up. They come back, try to
Yeah.
come back in the game. Um, about this, just again
Rangers
have
are
to make a
looking
couple
good.
of saves at the end of the game. And then I just wanted to mention, because you talk about Gorgiev, it was a big W for him, back to back game after they lost Colorado on overtime on shootout against Tampa Bay the night before. We have to give credit for the Colorado. They welcome back a Manson, by the way, back in the lineup. So Colorado slowly, properly, they get their player back in the roster. Mr. ENORTAP, so I just want to mention that. Gary said the Columbus and Chicago are the king of the tanker about this.
Absolutely.
And,
From here on in, bet against them every single game. You'll do much
will
better if
Max
you bet
Domi be
against them.
traded soon and why he can resign, Mr. ENORTAP?
That's a good question. I mean, right now he's probably the only one that's doing very much in terms of scoring. I mean, he's had a decent year in Chicago,
Yeah, he
but
lead
that's
the
probably
leaderboard with Patrick Kane, 35 points.
35. Yeah. So yeah, there's a chance that he might get moved. I wouldn't doubt it. Is there a possibility he comes to Toronto? How does he look on the third line in Toronto?
Yeah, his contract would be if Chicago owed 50%, would be $1.5 million. He signed a $3 million. Chicago will looking for a third round pick possible for him. I think it would be too much to pay that for Toronto for Max Domi. What he can bring more, what they have already, I'm not sure. I think a David Camp bring more on the table at Max Domi if you want to have my point of view about this because he's really good on
Yeah.
face-off camp. He bring more the stability. He's better two-way players. And if I were Toronto, I would not tell me. And his name, Domi, is not great around the league. He barely signed a contract with Chicago. Sometimes you find your niche when you become older, 27, 28, 29. I think Chicago with Domi have those kind of relationship. I think he likes Chicago, understand. Um, he's not going to get more money, another $3 million with Chicago next year. He can get maybe a contract 2-3 years like Mike Hoffman got for Montreal Canadiens when he owed before that with the St. Louis Blues. I think that marriage or chemistry is good for them. So he have a Chicago. It will be one of my players will not trade. He get time over there. He have TOI. He play a lot. Sometimes you have to think about more security or long term
Yeah.
as a hockey player because the career is short. I think if I was Domi, business side, I would try to resign with Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's going to have a great opportunity there to play in the top six for sure.
Yeah.
At this point, he's in the top three, top line for sure. Um, let's not forget as well, Coach. Speaking of the Rangers, another 3 points yesterday for our Thierry Panarin, probably one of the stars that you have
Yep.
for
We have the
today.
3 star right
Yeah,
there, Mr. ENORTAP. Great point about that. And Grant shot, I gave him the first star. The second, Elliott.
yeah,
Honestly, he got the
absolutely.
both of them was really well. And then we have a couple of players with 3 points yesterday. RNH, Nylander, Zibanejad, and Panarin. All of them have 3 points last night. Ranger, again, Tarasenko make an impact on Panarin. Since he's there, I think he had like already 7 points the last two games they played together. And Zibanejad continues. By the
I
way,
think.
Panarin missed an empty net at the end to get his hat trick. And Zibanejad pick up the puck to opposite side. So
Well,
great
that's
point.
that's the funny part is that he's doing it with goals rather than assists. You would think it's almost the other way around with Tarasenko, but either
Yeah,
way, it's a help.
yeah, absolutely about this one over there. Danny asked, "Welcome back, Mr. Danny. Can you smell what you call coach? Coach is cooking.
Oh,
Uh,
that knife looks pretty
yeah, uh,
violent.
yeah, absolutely
We're a
about this.
family channel here, Danny.
Steve G is in the house, Mr. Top. Both of you, welcome back.
Welcome, Steve.
Renaud, we answer to you. Thanks so much, King, for your question. I did not look yesterday. I was busy. Trade talk a bit underweight between Edmondson and the Los Angeles Kings. I still don't see him over there. Now, they can maybe get
I
him
don't
in
either.
return, but that's pretty much what I can tell you about this. But I think Edmondson could be their second option, maybe B or C.
Plan
Uh,
B. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I agree with that.
RJ Calabo is in the house. Welcome aboard.
Hey, RJ.
Here we go, Mr. Natap. We're going to move on to the next thing we'll talk about, the NHL news. But before that, we have to celebrate JJ went to the bus by himself tonight. So unfortunately, he lost his partner, JJ. But enjoy your time tonight on your bus. So let's bring him on the bus of the Hockey Nation live show. Here we go. JJ will be on the bus for again. Congratulations, Mr. JJ. Great performance, 5-1 yesterday. We have Mr. Real Deal is in the house, Mr. Natap. We want to welcome him.
Hey, Real Deal.
Renault said, would you sign Tarasenko around for $5.5 million, Mr. Natap?
No. I just don't see him fitting into the Montreal's plans right now.
Super chat.
Super chat. Reverse. Chop.
Reverse.
Here we go, Mr. Natap. A super chat directly from Real Deal. Mr. Natap, congratulations about Real Deal. Thanks so much to be with us again. You make this channel better and better with your support, but of course to show up every single time you can. So we really appreciate about that. Talking about Abraham, quelle équipe gagne ce soir? Canadien ou l'autre équipe? Caroline, mon Maxime. La Caroline va gagner ce soir contre le Canadien de Montréal. Je ne vois pas Montréal gagner next year. The HABS said Monahan will be back before the trade deadline for that one. We're going to talk about this the next few seconds about this, Gary. So just wait, hanging there with me. If you don't mind, we're going to give you a little bit of information about all the people, have some kind of news. But first of all, Mr. Top, the Detroit Red Wings signed the veteran Holy Mata, a 2 years contract with $3 million per year, AAV, $6 million. So they a little bit stabilized the defensive with the Detroit Red Wings. He came from the the Los Angeles Kings. Really interesting. Who was his first team in NHL, Mr. Top?
Was it Pittsburgh?
Yep, it was Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Mr. Natap. I tried to get his. When he was select draft. Mr. Natap. It was 22nd overall pick. Mr. Natap at Pittsburgh.
Second.
So.
Okay.
I just want to confirm. So, yeah, absolutely right. He signed a 2-year contract with the Detroit Red Wings. Mr. Yamo talk about him. He's from Finland, same state of Finland, only NBA player, Utah. Mark Cannon. So glad to hear that. Yamo to sharing with us. At the same time, meanwhile, RJ Calabro talk about Paul Gerard passed away, Mr. Natap, yesterday at 57 years old. If you follow a little bit more the hockey, he was assistant coach for the Calgary Flames for the 2 years. But you talk about perseverance, talk about never give up. He played only 5 games in NHL, Mr. Gerard, and he became after that tried to go the path of the coaching, and he took every place you can play in NHL, Mr. Natap, to get it. And he go from East Coast Hockey League, American Hockey League. It took over 20 years before he got a job in NHL. But the key behind that, the most people remind him is more about is the human side. Well, what he bring as a person, as a coach, and as a father and a friend, and became the first black man behind the bench, by the way. So I just want to share it with you. He was drafted 73 overall pick in 1983 by the New York Rangers. Like I mentioned, played only 5 games. Defenseman for him. He was a defenseman in his show. So I just want to share in this and wish the best for his family. Young, 57 years old, Mr. Natap, unfortunately passed away. Paul Gerard. For the Calgary Flame. We got some news from Ottawa Senator, from Pierre Dorion. Dorion make a kind statement, press conference this morning, talking about the fact Ottawa, if they are seller or buyer, he said, I don't know yet. So it was a good answer because he said, we're going to evaluate our situation in the next 7 games. So they're going to wait until the end of the trade deadline to see if they're going to be a seller or a buyer. So he said we have already some option on our table. So the GM did his homework. He see if we're looking great, maybe we can buy something. If we're not looking good, maybe sell a
Yeah.
couple of players in Ottawa. But one of them is not going nowhere, Mr. Natap, is Alex de Brincat. He said no way
Yeah.
he's going to
I
go
think so.
somewhere. We're going to reevaluate his case on the summer. We'll try to sign him. It will be interesting to see that. So um, big news I want to mention to you,
Not bad.
Mr.
Not bad.
Natap, is not there. Colorado Avalanche, everything changed today, Mr. Natap.
For Colorado?
Yeah.
How come?
Eric Johnson
Why?
out.
Oh,
Do you know what happened
yeah,
with
okay.
that?
No, not really, but I'm sure you'll tell us.
$6 million open under salary cap.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Interesting.
You see how they could be creative when they want to be?
$6 million.
Yeah. But wasn't he on the LTIR?
He's going to be a long term. They move on. They move him now for the long term.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because I couldn't see them even using him or maintaining him relevant within the system at this point.
Another rumor is our love for the Washington Capitals could be on the trade market before the end of the trade deadline, Mr. Tap.
That would be interesting.
Washington
that
have
would
a
be a
big
great
problem
pickup.
next year. 5 of the 6 defensemen they have already in
Free
that
agents.
regular season right now are UFA next year.
That's right.
So it'll be interesting. And talking about Washington, the Washington player, Greg Agelin, whatever you call his last name, is out
Hagelin.
again. Never recovering. It's another story like Paul Biron.
That's right.
He never recovered. Then he had to go again for another surgery. So season over for him for the rest of the season. Are you eating a lot of chicken soup in Thailand? It's not, Renault, you have a lot of
Yeah.
chicken here, first of all, right? But when you eat a soup, usually as a spicy soup, and I would take more the seafood on that one over there. So every time I eat a soup, I get this. It's really, the Thai food. You're going to get that soup, and then you're going to get a bowl of the rice, and then you get usually a complementary meal, like we said, legume, everything like that, and they have different kind of the plate they can get with that part, and I like to eat that kind of soup.
Right.
Really spicy. The spicy is pretty good about that. You can have shrimp inside of that. They have some kind of ring. Can never remember the name of that seafood stuff. A little bit it's like a noodle, but it's a little bit hard, but very good.
The calamari.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
so right. But usually, in North America, they are not a circle. Like they are like here, they are a little bit more bigger. But you're absolutely right about that. So you name it. Melissa is in the house, Melissa on top. So welcome, Melissa.
Welcome,
Zabrun is in
Melissa.
the house. Can you sound fishy tonight? Go, you sound fishy tonight. Yeah, it's a short night, Mr. Andre. That's maybe the only reason I can mention to you. We hit 31, guys. We are behind a bit with those kind of soup we have to talk about. Mr. Natab, I want to mention to you the ad update. So we know Montreal play tonight. Montreal is going to be between the pipe. Tonight, going back a between. We expect Adam to be Saturday. Come Toronto. Money back on the ice. We talked about this yesterday. Practice today on the non-contact jersey. He did a full practice with the team. You can see the pace of his skating was not always there, but he's just tried to come back. No expectation to see him again Toronto from what Martin said. We talk about him. Possible is going to be a pop-up next week. Maybe not New Jersey Tuesday, but Montreal play Friday after that. So 1 week from tomorrow. Possible. I will not be surprised to see him again. The Flyers, next Friday at the Wells Fargo Rink Arena in Philadelphia. Again, the Flyers, like I mentioned. The power play Montreal is looking great, Mr. Natap. Senko Caulfield is out.
Don't go there.
24% power play for Montreal Canadiens, Monsieur ENORTAP.
Well, those old guys are doing the job, I guess.
But it's because they changed their way, right? They moved the puck differently, and it was always Caulfield at the end. You get the puck to show the puck. Now they make a way where
Yeah.
they modify the power play and they take advantage of this. And some player took advantage of that. Baron, RHP scored 1 or 2 goals. You have Hoffman took advantage of that one. Could be that. Josh Anderson scored 2 goal power play. So you can see all those at front. It came from front players, not only one. And I think now they cannot see only Caulfield or the team to check. They can now we have to go everywhere. So I think that open up more the space on the ice for players, and they take that advantage of the Montreal Canadiens. So I think another player we have to mention make an impact on that is Mike Madison.
Yeah, Madison's been playing very well, but I like the way they're going in front of the net, RHB especially.
Yep.
And that's something we've been lacking for a long time, and that makes a huge difference when you're obscuring the goalie's vision and you're there to pick up that quick rebound in case it's loose. So that helps establish shots from the periphery. It allows you to make better passes within the slot area, and of course you're right on the step in case of a rebound.
Yeah, absolutely. Dixon Automobile Group is in the house. Welcome aboard. And then Ellen said the point play
Welcome,
again with
Dixon.
the Warek in Armia tonight. No change about this one. We want to mention to you one more thing. Monahan, Mr. Tap. I will not be surprised he not get traded. I will not be surprised signing a 1-year contract with Montreal.
Yeah, definitely. I could see him signing if he doesn't get traded with Montreal. Problem
because
is
now you're not
going
going to get a lot
money
in return.
But at this point, it's really all house money, coach. Like the real deal was getting that first round draft choice. You know, when they took the money and contract off of Calgary's hands, and were able to secure a pick with that as well. That was the big giveaway. Anything after that, which is right now, is a bonus, even if it's a second or a third. You know, I'd hate to give him away for a third or something like that, but you know, if he's willing to come back for less money, then by all means. But I was always afraid of injuries with this guy, even when he was with Calgary.
Well, that's the reason why he's not going to be traded.
Yeah, well, but he could be rented out, right? Like a team might be willing just to take him on as a rental.
Well, they maybe offer a third round pick in return or something like that.
Yeah, and that's sort of what they're going to have to balance out and see, is it worth.
But if I'm Montreal Canadiens, the GM, I said with Sean Monahan, I said, look, would you like to be traded for 1 year and to go somewhere and at the trade deadline, and then or stay with us for 1 year with us for about $4 million, and to try to reestablish yourself in the league to get there? Because if you go UFA, which team is going to offer him $5 million for years when he have never played for the last 5-6 years full season in NHL?
Yeah, you're right.
So if Sean Monahan, he was thinking to get a good contract. It's not going to happen now with his injury. So for me, I think it's both of them. Montreal would get him 1 more year, and with Montreal he can increase his number, a stat, play at the top 6. Every advantage is for him if he stay healthy. Knows like the city. Like I think for him it would be good to stay 1 more year with Montreal. Montreal can give him $5 million for 1 year anyway.
I wouldn't give him $5 million. I'll be honest with you.
I would give it to I would give it to him because he stabilized the top 6 players and the team from Montreal.
Yeah, I agree
any
with
players
that.
right now can play top 6 in Montreal right now.
It's not because he's not deserving of it. I'm just thinking of it from the perspective of injuries.
But it does not hurt. It's not hurt the Montreal Canadiens. You put him on the long term, so it's not change your salary cap. It's not change what you're looking for. If not, who you going to sign a 1 year, $5 million to play top 6 in the NHL? No one. Now you're going to try to get another Mike Hoffman at $4 or $5 million because they need a top six. They don't have top six. That's the bug. That's the problem behind that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know, and you need the experience as well. A veteran that's been around and can help out the kids
Doc Monahan
develop.
together, Monahan Ken Pelting, and helping Doc every time that. I think you're good there. Monahan can play on the first line with Caulfield and Suzuki. He's been there before, so will be interesting. Anyway, about that. Coach, do you think Anaheim would open Detroit Tristan Luneau? No, not at all. About
Oh,
this one,
he is a right-handed defenseman, right?
yeah, but they're not going to
But
do
I
that.
don't. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
Evan
we're okay
Drouin
with
has a
defensemen.
lot of passes saying he's get out the most of the year. Don't get again the ad they are on the road. Gary Cournoyer always try to catch up some Trout. Careful about the bear. There you go. Alan Barnes is in the house. Welcome back, Mr. Alan. I do my
Hi,
land
Alan.
sign with the
Welcome.
ab anyway. For Alan said that. Happy birthday, Jeffrey Corey. We're going to sing this letter tonight. We have no time to right now. So sorry about that. About this, Mr. ENORTAP, time for the gel. You ready?
Let's do it. Only
This is
one.
the DANY Candy gel we talk about, Mr. ENORTAP, like we do all the time. But today, we have John M back again, Mickelson back again at the gel for the second time this week, unfortunately. And he's going to be alone. So, but he already know everything like there. He's been there before, so it's not a
That's
big
okay.
deal. Are you ready, Mr. ENORTAP?
Ready? Let's do it.
Here we go. Mr. John M is on the direction of the gel, Mr. ENORTAP, and we want to welcome back. Rand Kirk is on the house.
Hey, Ryan. Welcome.
Over there. And then we have a few people. If I have something for recovery, well, please tonight, no cover it. Ron Picklick will return to lineup, Mr. ENORTAP. Doc is out, Mr. ENORTAP.
Who's out?
Kirby Doc.
Kirby Duck is out. Why?
Yeah.
Non-COVID related sickness. So
Yep.
that's interesting.
Randy Walkman is in the house. Welcome back, Randy. Woody Snyder is in the house. So
Welcome,
welcome
Randy.
back. About this,
Hey,
Mr.
Willie.
ENORTAP, I tell everybody, welcome everyone. You can check in for the first game of the night. And
Oh my God!
Florida Panthers, Washington Capitals, Mr. ENORTAP. This is the game of the year, by the way, Mr. ENORTAP.
Well, yeah, for sure, because that's who Florida's trying to chase down. They're headed over to Washington to take on the Capitals, and as you said, it could be a very fascinating matchup between these two tonight. The most notable storyline surrounding this game is probably, obviously, the absence of Ovechkin for the Capitals. Who we determined yesterday as his dad passed away and had gone back for funeral purposes, but no foreseeable future date in terms of when he would be returning, which is a huge loss for Washington, especially when you couple that with the fact that Wilson has gone on the IR again. It leaves a big hole. And even though they have some good depth on this team, the injuries have really devastated them. I would say age has caught up with them as well a little bit. So it's gonna be tough. It looks like it's Bobrovsky against Kumper as the starters. I'm gonna go with Florida in this game by a score of 4-3. Coach.
Florida, Mr. ENORTAP, go 4-3 tonight. Thanks so much, Mr. ENORTAP, to give us this. We have the same team. I don't know why. I go lower tonight, Mr. ENORTAP, 3-2.
Yeah, they might sort of, like two pros going at it, just sort of feel each other out for a period or two before they start delivering the heavyweight punches. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next, yeah, this one here is, I thought Ryan put it best. If Montreal beats Carolina tonight, I don't know what to think anymore. Maybe we have to reevaluate. Are we in rebuilding or are we in retooling stage? Because Montreal has really played some good hockey as of late. I really like seeing some of the development that's going on. Um, the Canadians, they've now won 3 in a row since the All-Star break, outscoring their opponents by a margin of 14-5. And really, if you think about it, when's the last time we've been able to say that in terms of Montreal's offensive output? Carolina is 1-1-0 since the layoff of the All-Star game. And the most recent game Montreal had, obviously, was the Chicago 4-0 victory. The Hurricanes edged out the Capitals 3-2 on Tuesday night, scoring the tie-breaking goal on their only one power play of the night that they had. I thought Frederik Andersen really was up to form. I think he made 34, 35 saves in that contest. They're trying to get him back up to speed and getting him ready for the playoffs, which is usually when Andersen has not played some of his best hockey. So we'll see how that goes. I have confidence that if he stays healthy, he's going to be a huge addition to the Hurricanes team. This represents the first of 3 meetings between these two teams. So they're going to get an opportunity to sort of revisit some of their hostilities ever since the KK trade, or no, I wouldn't even call it a trade. It was the contract dispute that they had there. Montreal might receive a different Carolina team here, because I think Carolina, if they can get that early lead, they really close things down on you. So even though Montreal's been scoring lately, it'll be interesting to see how they match up against that. And this is more towards, Martin St. Louis and how he can adjust towards that. They're on the road, which makes it a little bit more difficult for him to match up lines properly. It's the beginning for Montreal of a 4-game road stretch. And the Canadians, in their last 7 meetings against the Hurricane, have gone 1-6, which is not a great sign. So I'm going to take Carolina to win this one, but I think it'll be close. 4-2 score.
4-2.
Yeah.
All right, I go 5-2, Mr. LUCIANO. No problem. Carolina is 25-5-4, and the last 34 game in NHL, they are number 1 team, Mr. LUCIANO.
Yeah, for sure. And next we have the Winnipeg Jets and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Riddick against Korpisalo has been confirmed. The Jets, they put together, I thought, a really strong comeback against the Kraken a few nights ago, where they were able to pull away in the shootout, and they look like they're coming into their own now. They'll be able to carry, obviously, that momentum into Columbus. We mentioned earlier that between Chicago and Columbus, I think we're looking at the number 31 and 32 teams in the league. So it's not a bad idea to bet against those 2 teams down the stretch, because they're not going to go, I don't think they're going to go out of their way to try to be overly impressive in their style of play. Winnipeg, on the other hand, has to continue to play well. I think they had a stretch of a few games where they weren't looking that great, but as of late, they've been much better. I like the fact that they're sort of balancing Hellebuck towards the end here. He hasn't been relied upon every single game. So I'm going to take Winnipeg to win this one. And I haven't picked a shutout in a long time, so I think I will tonight. I'll go Winnipeg by a score of 4-0.
4-0, Mr. LUCIANO, for him. I don't expect this at home. Columbus is going to score 2 goals again. Winnipeg by the score 4-2. An empty net from Kyle Connor, Mr. LUCIANO.
Kyle Connor, what a year, what a player, man.
Yeah, absolutely
And
about
next,
this.
yeah, the Boston Bruins, they look to begin another winning streak with, a chance to earn their second straight win tonight. To do that, they've sort of been tasked with taking down the Predators in what is Boston's second straight game on the road. Now, Nashville, by all means, is a weaker team than Boston. Uh, I don't think that they have anywhere near the depth that Boston has. Looks like tonight it's going to be Swayman instead of Allmark up against Saros. Uh, Nashville really had a couple of key games last week that I thought were must wins for them to stay relevant in the playoff chase, and they kind of blew those games away. And it's at this point, if they're going to beat teams, they have a tough schedule ahead of them. And it helps that they're at home, but that doesn't bother Boston. Their record is equally impressive whether they're at home or on the road. I like Boston in this. I'm going to go with a score of 4-2.
4-2. Awesome. Boston are 18-6-2, Mr. Tap. We have the same score.
Yeah. Boston.
Flame,
4-2.
one of the 9 team at Kane at game. Swimming against Rose about this. You talk about the scout, Mr. Right, talking about Calgary. Here we go. The Detroit Red Wings, back-to-back game.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Yeah, that doesn't help. At least finally, Calgary's seen the light at the end of the tunnel here, and they're going to go with Vladar in net. Don't be surprised if Markstrom is even put on the trade block. As far as I'm concerned, a big reason why they are where they are this year is because of the poor goaltending from his perspective. The Red Wings, they continue their Canadian road trip after a 5-4 shootout victory over the Edmonton Oilers that we mentioned earlier this evening. With a record of 25-20-8, they currently sit in 6th place in the Atlantic. And they're going to continue to push for that last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Larkin has been a huge reason for their success, and they have a chance to, take a stab at that last playoff spot. But it's going to be hard for them. They have a very difficult schedule ahead of them till the end of the month. So if they can definitely score a victory here, it goes a long way in settling them in this race. Calgary, they return home after a 4-3 defeat at the hands of the Ottawa Senators on Monday. Currently, they're in 5th place. They're hanging around with the playoff spot in the West, but as I said before, Markstrom has gone 1-4 in the last 5 meetings that he's been in. I see Calgary getting back on track here tonight, simply because Detroit played last night and it was a tough matchup for them, and this won't get any easier. But Calgary with Vladar net should win this one by a score of 5-3.
5-3 Calgary. Vladar between the pipe, Mr. Tap.
Yeah.
4-3
4-3.
Calgary.
Okay. And who do we have next? New Jersey and St. Louis. Just when you think St. Louis is down and out and gone, they went and scored an impressive victory the other night.
I think they are 2 straight game right now winning.
Yeah. Bennington is confirmed to start tonight. Vanacek is very probable. Last time I checked. The Devils, they continue to look great. They've been playing some really good hockey. I think that things are really coming around for them. If they can pick up an extra piece or two at the trade deadline time, this could be a team that could surprise or give fits to some teams in the first round of the playoffs. They're an exciting team, a young team. Um, if they can get some, like I said, defensive help as well, so that their defensive coverage is a little bit stronger, it'll go a long way in pushing them forward. I'm going to go with the New Jersey in this game, coach, by a score of 5-2.
Oh, you already set up your score. I thought you were going to. All right. New Jersey Devils 5-2, Mr. Tap.
Yeah.
All right. I like to listen to you, but I'm going to listen to Joseph. He's a 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. My Joseph, I follow Joseph. Joseph is a big fan of the Devils, so go with the Joseph. Here we go. This is the game. Flip your
Oof. Here we go. It's definitely Hart
quarter.
against Grubauer, and important game. Um, you know, Seattle lately hasn't been playing the best hockey of the year, but they've been hanging there. Like, they've been treading water. So that's good for them, because I thought the last 13 games that they were going to have some difficulties, and they have, but they're hanging in terms of the overall standings. Philadelphia has been playing some really good hockey as well, in my eyes. Like, if you look at the last, I think it's 3 or 4 weeks, it might even be since January 1st. You look at Philadelphia's losses, coach. I don't think there's very many games that they've lost by more than a goal. Like, they're starting to adapt the Tortorella system. They're buying into it. They're playing very responsibly defensively, and it's showing, because they're competitive in every single game. And if you put that together with a good goaltender like Hart, it could take you far here. Um, I initially, for this game, had Seattle, but the more I thought about it, I think I'm going to go off on the edge here and go with think outside the box and go with Philadelphia. I think that they might catch Seattle off guard tonight. I'm going to go with Flyers by a score of 3-2.
3-2, Mr. Tap. I don't buy it. I go with Seattle 4-3.
Okay.
And the reason why, because Benny is back in the lineup.
Okay. And our last game of the night, San Jose and Vegas. San Jose has been playing better as of late as well. Looks like it's Kakinen and Hill, confirmed starters for tonight. The Sharks, they're hitting the road for the 9th time in the last 10 games tonight to take on the Golden Knights. On the season, the Sharks have been better away from the Bay Area, but they still sit at 12-18 in that regard. On top of that, they have allowed 3.5 goals per game during their road stretch, and it may be a similar situation against the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. The Knights, they come in at home as winners in their last 3 games, and they've outscored their opponents 17-4, which, you think about it, is a little bit wildly impressive because of some of the injuries that they've had, especially in the forward position, and B, given the fact that they went through a stretch of time when they weren't playing such great hockey. They've been average at home so far this year. They're 15-13, but things seem to have been turning around for them lately. They've scored 3.7 goals per game over the last 10 home contests. And so even with Thompson out of the lineup, Hill's been doing an admirable job for them. I like Vegas in this one, and I think they'll win by a margin of 5-2.
5-2. 5-2, Mr. Tap.
Sure.
So that's happening about that one with Mr. Tap on all the date. We have 8 games on the program tonight, and that's happening. Before we leave, we want to remind everybody, don't forget, guys, we have an app daily news every day, Mr. Tap, at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, and Monday to Friday. Today, I'll talk about the Sheriff, the Jacquard, the heart of the Montreal Canadian fans. Inside that video, I talk about the progression of Jacquard, but the impact of what he created for the Montreal Canadian. Martin, so we talk about the brand, talk about the culture, we talk about the intensity. That's what Jacquard can bring, a special intensity for the Montreal Canadian they don't have in the past for that. So that's what's happening. What I mentioned inside video, I mentioned too. He need to the starting now. His reputation is already done. And the NHL, they already know who he is right now. He don't have to fight every time he get, an invitation to go to the dinner, right? So you have to wait, pick up the right time. You need to learn a bit more about the momentum of the game and time management. When is the time to do it or not? Everything like that. Otherwise, I think he creates something very special for the Montreal Canadiens. So I talked about this yesterday, and then I talk about Cole Caulfield make some kind of joke with Jonathan Drouin yesterday during the practice. So he bragged Jonathan Drouin with the water bottle 101 joke you can do about that. And then I showed the goal of Logan Mailloux. 20 of the year for Logan Mailloux, Mr. Tap. Impressive. We are at the end of the show, Mr. Tap. What we do at the end, we always ask you this, Mr. ENORTAP. What are you looking for tonight, if I can find it?
Coach, it's no different than any other night. As we get closer and closer to the end, there's teams that have to pick up points here to stay relevant in the playoff chase. And I'm thinking about the Florida-Washington game, points there. I'm looking at to the Calgary and Detroit game. I would even say, the Seattle game, they need to pick up the points. But the teams that are ahead, they have to continue to play good hockey.
You're absolutely about this. Check about this little bit graphic. If the Panthers win, their chance now jumping 6.4%. So the Panthers win. If the 8.3 is the Capitals win tonight. If they lose, they drop about 9.9%. So this is the game of the year for them. That you laugh at me, but this is really where the Panthers. If they lose tonight, the Panthers, unfortunately, they're going to have a really difficult time because you have not only Washington, but you talk about Islanders, talk about Detroit, Buffalo right now, and Ottawa is just behind.
I know.
So you're absolutely about this. Thanks so much, Mr. ENORTAP. We did it again. It's 8 games of the program, guys. We'll be live in the next few minutes. Montreal Canadiens out tonight and Carolina. Again, the Hurricane. We're going to be doing the play-by-play commentary. Great job, Mr. ENORTAP, like you do all the time. We just want to remind you, you already know who you are because... Sorry about that. This is the warm-up of Luciano. So I apologize for that one there. Luciano practice right now just before the game starts. So he's right now on his keyboard. Sorry about that.
You are awesome.
Awesome.
Amazing.
The GOAT.
You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
I don't know, Mr. ENORTAP, but from one story to another story, I can everything happened. I'm very quick to make a transition about something happening. I can find something very quick, Mr. ENORTAP. Until then, Mr. ENORTAP, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only donate your day, but find a way to donate your first app of what, Mr. ENORTAP?
Year 2023.
He did it again. We want to thank all the moderators, Mr. ENORTAP, and all the people in the chat all did an amazing, great job. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. Again, you did it, Mr. ENORTAP. We wish you an amazing, great night. Look forward to seeing you in the next couple of minutes.
Good night, Coach. Good night, hockey.